If there's one thing that defines Yellowstone, it's legacy. The Dutton name has always meant power, land, loyalty, and violence when necessary. Now in Marshals, Kayce Dutton carries that legacy forward, but the real question is whether that's a good thing. From the very first episode, it's clear that Kayce hasn't escaped who he is. He may not be standing on the ranch in Montana anymore, and he may not be operating under John Dutton's shadow in the same way, but the Dutton Code is still embedded in him. Protect your own. Act decisively. Don't hesitate when danger presents itself. That mindset shaped him long before this new chapter began. What makes Kayce such a compelling character is that he's always been the most conflicted Dutton. Unlike John, who embraced the ruthless defense of legacy, or Beth, who weaponized it, Kayce has consistently questioned the cost. He understands what it means to protect land and family, but he also understands what it takes from a person to live that way. In Marshals, that internal tug-of-war hasn't disappeared. If anything, it's intensified. The show makes it clear that, even outside the ranch, Kayce operates with the same instinctual code. He doesn't wait for systems to solve problems. He steps in. He assesses threats quickly. And when he believes action is necessary, he takes it. That decisiveness is pure Dutton. It's the same survival logic that defined generations before him. But here's where things get complicated. The Dutton legacy has always been about control, controlling land, outcomes, and narratives. In the world of law enforcement, that mentality can blur lines. As a marshal, Kayce is sworn to uphold the law, not just protect what's his. Yet when push comes to shove, his decisions often feel personal. They feel rooted in that same protective intensity he learned on the ranch. For better, that makes him fearless. Kayce doesn't freeze under pressure. He doesn't back down from dangerous confrontations. When others hesitate, he acts. That quality saves lives. It commands respect. It makes him effective in high-risk situations where uncertainty can cost everything. But for worse, it means he carries the same emotional burden that haunted the Dutton family. Every decisive action comes with consequences. Every life-or-death moment leaves a mark. The legacy he keeps alive isn't just strength, it's sacrifice. It's isolation. It's the quiet toll of making impossible decisions. What Marshals does smartly is show that Kayce isn't blindly embracing the Dutton name. He's aware of it. He questions it. There are moments where you can see him trying to do things differently, trying to break the cycle of reactive violence that defined so much of his upbringing. But legacy isn't something you switch off. It's ingrained. There's also the symbolic layer to consider. The Dutton ranch represented land and heritage. In Marshals, the battleground is broader. It's no longer about fences and property lines. It's about justice, order, and public safety. Yet the core theme remains the same: protection at all costs. Kayce may be wearing a different badge, but he's still fighting the same war, just on a new front. The tension moving forward will likely center on whether Kayce can redefine what the Dutton legacy means. Does it have to involve bloodshed and moral compromise? Or can it evolve into something stronger but less destructive? That's the real dramatic hook. Because keeping a legacy alive isn't always heroic. Sometimes it means repeating the same mistakes under a different banner. Kayce stands at that crossroads. He embodies the strength of the Dutton name: loyalty, courage, unflinching resolve. But he also carries its darkness: the readiness to use force, the emotional distance, the weight of consequence. Whether that ultimately leads to redemption or repetition is what will define this new chapter. One thing is certain: Kayce isn't running from who he is anymore. He's stepping into it. The question is whether he can shape that inheritance into something better, or whether the legacy will shape him instead. And that uncertainty is exactly what makes his story so compelling to watch.